Welcome back to Skyward Fighter, your top source for cutting-edge military aviation news. Today, we're diving into a secret operation that has only recently come to light, one that could change how we view the U.S. presence in the Middle East. According to an exclusive report by the War Zone, the U.S. Air Force has covertly deployed its elite B-2A Spirit stealth bombers to strike Houthi targets in Yemen. The campaign, which began on March 15th, launched a series of precision air and missile strikes targeting the Iranian-backed group operating out of Yemen. An anonymous U.S. official confirmed the B-2's involvement, but remained tight-lipped about specific operational details, refusing to disclose how many bombers were used, how frequently they flew, or exactly when the strikes took place. Why this is huge. What does it mean when America's most advanced warplanes vanish from public view and show up at one of the most secretive bases in the world? This isn't just routine. This is a message. Satellite imagery from April 2nd, obtained by the War Zone and Planet Labs, shows at least 6 B-2s and 6 KC-135 aerial refueling tankers stationed at Diego Garcia, a remote but highly strategic U.S. military base in the Indian Ocean. This massive deployment is unprecedented. Keep in mind, the U.S. Air Force only has 20 B-2 bombers in total. Deploying 6 to a single location means 30% of the entire fleet is now positioned forward in the region, far more than usual. Given that some of these aircraft are regularly grounded for maintenance, the percentage of active B-2s being used is even more significant. The weapon that changes everything. These stealth bombers aren't just flying, they're carrying one of the most destructive non-nuclear bombs in existence, and it's designed to crush what's hidden underground. The B-2 isn't just any bomber. It's the only aircraft in the U.S. arsenal capable of carrying the 30,000-pound GBU-57B Massive Ordnance Penetrator MOP, a weapon specifically engineered to obliterate deeply buried targets. With the Houthis reportedly operating a vast network of underground facilities, this raises serious questions. Are MOPs being used right now? Are we seeing a shift from deterrence to all-out decapitation strikes? While officials haven't confirmed if MOPs have been dropped on Houthi targets, the very presence of B-2s suggests the option is on the table. And let's not forget, these bombers have also been used to send loud, unmistakable messages to Tehran in the past, especially during periods of high tension. Despite facing constant pressure from US-led airstrikes, the Houthis have proven to be more than just a ragtag militia. In fact, they've managed to shoot down multiple MQ-9 Reaper drones, one of America's most advanced and expensive unmanned systems, during this current campaign. And they've done it before, too. Now, while their air defense systems might be considered outdated by modern standards, the threat they pose is still very real. Losing a crewed aircraft, like an F-15 or even a B-2, over Houthi-controlled territory could trigger a crisis. A rescue operation in hostile territory could place even more American lives at risk. Why fighters can't get too close? What if I told you the skies over Yemen are too dangerous even for America's best pilots? And that's exactly why the B-2 is now center stage. Because of this threat, the U.S. Navy and Air Force have relied heavily on standoff weapons, missiles and bombs that can be launched from a distance, far away from enemy air defenses. Fighter jets have been using AGM-154 JSOWs and AGM-84 KSLAMERs, designed for precision and distance. Navy ships have also launched Tomahawk cruise missiles, capable of hitting targets with pinpoint accuracy from hundreds of miles away. This strategy keeps pilots safe, but it limits the depth and impact of strikes. That's where the B-2 comes in. Its ability to penetrate hostile airspace undetected, carry massive payloads, and strike hardened targets gives the U.S. a serious upper hand. All of this isn't happening in a vacuum. The B-2 deployment is just one piece of a much larger picture. A growing military buildup in the region that has many analysts wondering, is the U.S. preparing for a strike against Iran? Along with the B-2s, the Pentagon has sent F-35s, A-10 Warthogs, and other combat aircraft to the region in recent weeks. At sea, the USS Carl Vinson Carrier Strike Group is en route from the Pacific to join the USS Harry S. Truman Strike Group, whose deployment has already been extended. President Donald Trump has set a deadline. Iran has until May to return to the negotiating table over its nuclear program. The administration has made it clear: comply or face consequences. Tehran's response so far? Mixed signals. Some officials hint at talks through third parties. Others suggest complete resistance. What we now know is that this deployment isn't just a show of force, it's an active combat mission. The B-2 bombers at Diego Garcia are striking Houthi targets, testing Iran's resolve, and positioning the U.S. for whatever may come next. Diego Garcia isn't just any airbase, it's a strategic launch point, far enough to remain secure, yet close enough to rapidly deploy assets to the Middle East. It offers unmatched logistical support, aerial refueling capability, and regional reach. The presence of KC-135 Stratotankers, aerial refueling aircraft, on the island confirms that this is more than a brief exercise. It's a long-term posture. The U.S. is building a strike capability that can remain persistent, flexible, and deadly. It's worth remembering that B-2 bombers are rarely deployed in large numbers, and almost never forward positioned like this unless something major is in motion. With 30% of the entire stealth fleet sitting on Diego Garcia, that alone sends shockwaves across the region. Why? Because unlike fighter jets or drones, the B-2 isn't a tactical weapon. It's a strategic asset, one designed to alter the calculus of adversaries like Iran. Its presence means options are on the table that only America's most elite aircraft can execute. Each B-2 can fly thousands of miles, strike targets with pinpoint precision, and vanish before enemy radars even realize they were there. When you see this aircraft in motion, it means the U.S. is preparing for deep, deliberate, and devastating strikes, not just quick raids. The B-2's signature stealth profile makes it ideal for missions where being seen means being shot down. While other aircraft must operate from a distance or risk being targeted by even low-tech defenses, the Spirit bomber thrives where others can't. This is especially crucial in Yemen, where Houthi fighters operate in rugged terrain with hidden bunkers, mobile launchers, and underground facilities. If the U.S. wants to decapitate leadership or take out deeply buried arsenals, the B-2 is the go-to tool. Even though officials haven't confirmed the use of the massive ordnance penetrator during these missions, its presence aboard these bombers sends a loud message. We know where you're hiding, and we have the tools to reach you. Risk versus reward. But it's not without risks. Every mission flown deep into contested airspace comes with the danger of detection, mechanical failure, or worst-case scenarios. A bomber going down over enemy territory. The U.S. knows this risk all too well from past conflicts. That's why the Pentagon has been increasingly cautious, favoring unmanned systems or standoff munitions when targeting lower-tier threats. But the B-2 changes that equation. It allows for direct engagement, even in the most fortified zones, without putting human pilots directly in harm's way, at least not visibly. The fact that these bombers are not just on standby, but actively striking targets, reveals a significant shift in how the U.S. is handling the Houthi threat. It's not just about deterrence anymore, it's about neutralizing capabilities and sending ripples through the region. Let's zoom out for a moment. Why Yemen? Why now? The Houthis, while dangerous in their own right, are just one arm of a broader network supported by Iran. These strikes, some believe, serve dual purposes: degrading a militant group and demonstrating U.S. resolve to Tehran. Iran has invested heavily in underground military infrastructure, particularly in its nuclear and ballistic missile programs. The B-2, especially with MOPs on board, is one of the few tools capable of reaching those kinds of targets. Every mission flown in Yemen becomes a proof of concept for what might soon unfold elsewhere. Military analysts often talk about the fog of war, but just as powerful is the fog of uncertainty. That's what the US is creating now, by neither confirming nor denying MOP usage, by refusing to release bomber mission counts, and by letting satellite imagery tell just part of the story. Washington is keeping adversaries guessing. The deployment of B-2 stealth bombers to Diego Garcia wasn't for show. They're actively flying missions, engaging targets, and reshaping the tactical landscape across the Middle East. This isn't just a flex of military might. It's a signal to the Houthis, to Tehran, to the world. And it speaks louder than words ever could. So stay sharp, stay tuned, and keep your eyes on the sky. Because what's flying above may just shape the ground game tomorrow. Until next time, this is Skyward Fighter, signing off.